So I was talking on the phone with somebody this morning, and I used the word tantalizing and realized that I didn't quite know exactly what it meant. I knew it was the right word, you know how that is, but I had never really looked at a definition. So while I was on the phone, I popped up Google on my computer and I asked for a definition of tantalizing. And for something to be tantalizing, it means that it promises pleasure, but the pleasure can't be obtained. And a Tantalus, which is where it comes from, the first definition of Tantalus was a means of storing liquor in canted liquor in a way that it can't be opened. So it's not accessible. It's a locked container to store liquor, alcohol. But then I realized that the meaning actually came from the story of a ancient Greek character named Tantalus. And the story goes that in the early first generations of humanity was able to dine with the gods. And in dining with the gods, they could enjoy that divine inebriation through a nectar of the gods or an ambrosia that was served at the table. And so Tantalus steals this ambrosia from the gods and brings it down to the earthly plane in order to be able to enjoy the nectar of the gods without the gods. Now, this turned out to be quite a crime. And so Tantalus was punished, and his punishment was eternal. And his punishment, as you see in this painting, was that he was standing in fresh water up to his neck, that any time he ducked his head down to drink of the water would recede. So he would be eternally thirsty, but never quite able to reach the water, even though he was surrounded by water. And then to make matters worse, he was underneath the bough of a beautifully fecund fruit tree that was always hanging these delightful fruits just above his head. But any time that he would reach up to take one of the fruits, the tree would withdraw and raise the fruit up so that he could never reach the fruit. So he was eternally condemned to lie as hungry and thirsty in the midst of plenty, but never being able to be satisfied. That was amazing to me, because that was a wonderful description of life in this sense world. And the whole idea that the pleasure that we're looking for in the senses and the material is stealing the divine bliss without the divine. And it puts us in that situation of always being hungry and always wanting more. But anytime we reach out to be fulfilled, we can never quite get the satisfaction that we were looking for. How did Tantalus manage to pass eternity, neck full in water where he couldn't drink, just under the boughs of a fruit tree he couldn't eat? That's the meditation.